Okay. Well, wrap this up here. Get set up. Oh. Okay. So we've got things underway here. Thank you for coming. Yeah, it's Friday night. We're gonna chill out for a while. See who's gonna join us. Maybe have a little fun. Um, we'll just start it off light and easy here. Let's start with a song. These are the days of Elijah, declaring the word of the Lord. And these are the days of your servant Moses, righteousness being restored. And these are days of great trial, of famine and darkness and sword. We are the voice in the desert crying, prepare ye the way of the Lord. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice, it's the year of Jubilee, and out of Zion till salvation comes. These are the days of Ezekiel, the dry bones becoming as flesh. These are the days of your servant David, rebuilding the temple of praise. And these are the days of the harvest. Oh, the fields are as white in your world. And we are the laborers in your vineyard, declaring the word of the Lord. Behold, he comes, riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice, year of Jubilee, and out of Zion will salvation come. Hello, Gecko. There's no God like Jehovah. 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 Only know He comes riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. Then the trumpet call, lift your voice, the year of Jubilee. And out of Zion will salvation come. He comes riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice, year of Jubilee. Out of Zion till salvation comes. Riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. As the trumpet calls, lift your voice, it's year of Jubilee. And out of Zion till salvation comes. Riding on the clouds, shining like the sun. At the trumpet call, lift your voice, it's the year of Jubilee. And out of Zion till salvation comes. Voice, the year of Jubilee. And out of Zion till salvation comes. Okay. Good morning, all of you. Vermilion, yeah. Whoa, Yahib, Vermilion, Gecko, yeah. Okay, well, welcome all of you. Thank you for coming by. I just figured, crowd wasn't very thick there. Nobody was coming, so I'd sing a song. A song that, I'd rather enjoy. And now I've got a bunch of you here to talk to. So thank you. Welcome to Friday night. Matt, none ya business. Got it? Oh, yeah. Hello, Jason Parker. Welcome. YRR. I have no idea what you're talking about. Might be able to answer you. Gecko, shine your boots. Okay. Earlier today I was going through
Going through my channel analytics, I haven't been doing this very long, to be honest with all of you. I've spent a couple of years as a consumer of YouTube, visiting a lot of streamers, making friends through streams. I even had a relationship with a Filipina streamer. We had a long distance relationship for about 9 months when I visited her, and within about 3 months after that, she ended it. Mostly it's been Filipinas streams that I go to, but because they're usually the live streamers. Several of them come here now that I'm streaming. But I sometimes I would just be scrolling through other streams, and it was just kind of interesting to see the different kind of content that was being created. So I thought, shit, you know what? I can sit here and do it and share my knowledge. Hey, Mark Carp, welcome. Yeah, you're not the first one to call me Thor. But like I started to say, I haven't been doing this long. But I can go and look at my channel analytics, and it's incredible how many people actually are watching my stream and joining my channel, and just generally spending time. And I appreciate all of you doing that. I'm still a small stream, under 500 viewers, but when I looked at it last night or this morning, I think I have 266 subscribers, and 144 of them have signed up in the last 28 days. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? I like the channel, what the name I use now. I'm just going to stick with it. But since my channel is still small and I don't have many people here, I do want to direct move my stream over into a more targeted audience. There are a lot of people that are contemplating relationships with Filipinas. I've got firsthand experience. So but right now I'm not in a relationship with a Filipina. But there are things that you need to watch out for. So what I'm going to just start to do, starting tomorrow, is I'm going to start doing short videos on what are the pitfalls of long distance relationships, and in particular with Filipinas. Hello, Mike Hunt. Yes, the duality of man. I know he loves me. Fuck off, Victe. How many times do I have to shut your channel off before you finally get the message to just stay the fuck away? Got it? I should report you to YouTube for harassment. You and every one of your fucking piece of shit channels. Yes, Mike. You know, I've met many Filipinas in person, where I live. Um, and the thing is, they're great people. A lot of them have brought their family. Like most of them that I encounter here are married, and once they get here, they have their pick of men. So they get into a relationship pretty quickly when they're here. In your hotel room? Oh, I wouldn't know, Mike. She might be related to my ex-wife. Hello, Julie from France. Welcome to my live stream where we talk about everything, anything, and nothing, and you get to choose the topic. Yeah, Mike, I have been married twice. Both of them were, ladies that I met in real life. First one turned out to be a narcissist, a controlling CB second one was about 30 years her junior, and I swear they were sisters. Oh, yeah. Julie from France, I have been to your country as a visitor. It's a very small part of your country. I drove in from Belgium on my way to your port that, where the ferries go across to Dover, England. So I just touched the corner of France. Um, it was it was nice. Hey, Gleb. Oh well, hey, you made it. That's what matters. Even if you do have, problems with Wi-Fi, you still made it, and that means Russia's still, in the world. Nobody's nuked Moscow yet. If that ever happens, oh my God, you know, why do they even need to keep those things active? The nuclear weapons. I wish Russia and the USA would just, deactivate them, turn them into fuel sources for their reactors, and be done with it. Actually, I've sailed from Calais to Dunkirk and back. So yeah, I drove into Calais, went onto the ferry with the car to Dunkirk, and I found out very quickly that I am not a seaman. Oh, we had rough seas going across England. I was so green. Oh, on the verge of the whole way across. I could not get off that ship fast enough. and put my feet back on solid ground. Okay. Yep. Oh, yeah. Wisdom is mine. You know what you say. I'll read it. Dear brother, my mom was a narcissist too. I checked her out of my life a long time back. I am, narcissists are worse than psychopath. Well, try combining the two, buddy. Oh, yeah. Yeah. A psychopath will just take your money and leave. A narcissist will steal your soul, make it your fault, and then demand thank you. Yep. Um, narcissists are masters at gaslighting. And, I'm still going through it with my second one because we had 4 kids together. She's convinced the kids not to have any contact with me. All her doing, and now she's demanding, that I have to pay child support when I have a court order that says 50-50. Finally, she's, going to the court to change that after 7 years. And I'm going to fight that or court order, that application tooth and fucking nail. I'm going to insist that she needs to pay for reunification between my children and I. And once that reunification is done, then we'll consider child support. Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, you know, I think the reason they want to try and shut down the internet is because then they can, control the narrative. They control the news that you can access, and unfortunately, the internet's like a genie. Once it's out of the bottle, you ain't putting it back in. So, you know, pre-internet days, people in your country heard only what the government allowed the media to publish. Similarly here in Canada and USA, we only got the news that the media was given to publish. So that's from the Cold War era. Julie, are you in the French-speaking part of Canada? No, the part that you're thinking of is Quebec. That is the Francophone province, but there are many Francophone people throughout Canada. A lot in Northern Ontario, not so much in Northwestern Ontario where I am. There's also a Francophone communities, in many of the big cities. So the government in Russia can try all they want to shut down the internet, but Starlink is, the satellites are too readily available to the average person that the chances of them shutting everything down greatly reduced. How to? Hello from the North Korea. Yeah. And China made a firewall, but it's still been pierced. No, Waze definitely not an HA. Although I know a few people who are members of the Hells Angels, but no, I'm not. I didn't. I won't. The only well, let's put it this way. Right now, I have a Hardley Davidson. It hardly makes it to the top of the hill and goes like hell down the other side because it's pedal powered. Hello, Starly North. Medusa. Hello in the UK from Canada. Yeah, exactly, Gleb. You guys have all learned how to use VPNs. And actually using VPNs is extremely cheap. Yeah. Ways I don't have a Harley. I got a Hardly. And pedal bike. I want to get me one of these, but not. I'll get a Honda. Da, 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 da. I am from Canada. To be more precise, I'm pretty much right in the middle of Canada. If you look at the map between Canada and the USA, as you come to the center of the border, the US has kind of got a finger sticking up into Canada, right? A finger. I'm just a little bit east of that finger. I'm more like this finger, or at the edge of it. Yeah, broom broom. Nah, nah, Heisenberg. Breaking Bad was a damn good show, though. I enjoyed it there. Okay, welcome, Dag Silgad. Thank you for stopping in, saying hello. Please don't forget to hit me twice on the nose so that big white hand comes up and then slaps me again too. Okay. Yep. Sounds like a great place to be. I love it here. The one nice thing about here, especially if you're an outdoorsman, um, yeah, you basically need to go maybe less than a mile, and you are in the great outdoors wilderness. Doesn't take you long. Have I watched the Vikings? Absolutely, yes. Uh, oh yeah, Athelstan, I loved them. Yep. What is my opinion of Rikishi? Asked Max. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't give you an opinion because I don't know what Rikishi is or who. Bro, I'm in my early 20s and kind of in a mess. Give me some advice, like something to soothe me. Well, what kind of mess are you in there, my friend? My okay. Bear with me. And I've got to. Um, okay. Sorry, I just needed to take a minute there to report this Ve Victe to YT, get his fucking ass removed from YouTube. In fact, YouTube is banned in our country, says Kleb, but everyone don't give a damn. But you can open it only when you're in LA, if you know what I mean. Yep. Yeah, of course. That's when you use VPN and you put yourself in your IP in a different country, then yeah, it your computer thinks or the internet thinks you're in a different country and thinks you're in the U.S. No problem. Uh, hey, Gene, you're back. Yes, yep, I remember you. As a matter of fact, um, I was just looking at that again today. I still have that tab open on my computer with "We Are the Children," "We Are the World." Yeah, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. Um, oh, yeah, this Victe clown is just. I've got to report him as a channel owner. That's why I had to take a break there for a second. I mean, how many different profiles have I already knocked out? Actually, I can go to my channel page in studio and find out. It's ridiculous. Wicked. There's some guy that comes in here. He's got the same channel name, same name, just a different number behind each channel name, and he's harassing. And that's all he does is come in to harass. Oh, fuck him! I'll report him to YouTube. Hello, Jasmine. Welcome. Um. Oh, I did worse than yeah. I gave him a permanent timeout. I mean, a regular timeout, it only lasts as long, the few whatever number of seconds. I am good, Jasmine. Thank you for coming. Thank you for commenting. Don't forget to hit me on the nose twice, and so that big hand comes up and slaps me. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of idiocy in today's world. We used to have a cure in the old west for stupidity. It was a branch and a rope. Damn, I wish they'd bring that cure back. Yes. Painter from Austria. Government is inherently evil. Yeah, I will absolutely agree with you. Since the beginning of time, government has been, inherently evil because, wait a minute, men are corrupt. And once they get power, you know, absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Hello, Remy Farson from Sydney, Australia. Well, hang on, buddy. We might see my greyhound. I forget what the last word is in his. Or he's also from Australia. Gecko. There was nothing wrong with his comment there. USA had gun duels, lynchings, speedy trials. Yep. Yeah, bring them all back. The instant cure for stupidity. The best thing is they can't duplicate your kid. They can't breed stupidity onward once that happens. Oh, oh yeah, Painter, absolutely. Most men's hearts are corrupted. Um, and that there's nothing we can do about it. That's just part of man's nature because we are all sinful by nature, right? In sin we were conceived, and in sin we were born. And we're all drawn to do sinful things. Now, the only thing that was ordained by only part of government that is ordained is that they are to be the embodiment of justice, right? So, um, but Painter, thank you for your nuggets of wisdom. Pleb says there are so many. Yep. Yes. I was commenting on that yesterday, Gleb. The world has gotten small with the internet, and people from Russia, people from all kinds, damn near every continent, right? Um, you know, Now we've got Australia, we've got Europe, we've got Asia, North America. The only continent we haven't got anybody from yet is South America. Neither am I, Christopher. I am not a big fan of the government. Never have been, never will be. Simply because, one, too many people have this idea that, if they want to have something done, they need to get the government to do it, right? Or they got to have the government's permission to do it. Yesterday, I was, I watch a lot of internet or a lot of YouTube. There was a story that I heard. Yeah. Buckeye, your comment to a painter from Austria is inappropriate. So watch yourself, because I shine my boot on. You start shitting my channel when you get here. Yeah, you don't stay long. Yep. The other thing, Gleb, when people talk shit in my room, bye. There's over seven, or now what, 8 billion people in this world. I can thin the assholes out here. In real life, I can't anymore. It's illegal. Here, I can just shoot them. Yeah. Okay. Jason says, hello from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Finally, it stopped raining. Oh, wow. Ooh. Oh, God. I'm not that far from Wisconsin. Um, if you know where International Falls is, I'm right across the river. I go shopping a lot in I Falls. Hey, Dolphins, my favorite team. I'm good. Let me guess, Dolphins, you're from Miami. Uh, Painter, you're a good man if you can control your wrath. I just unleash mine. Yep. Here in YouTube, I could just let it go. I don't have to listen to shit. Mm-hmm. So what guy, the painter from Austria? Are you a artistic painter or like a vocational painter? As in you paint houses, paint rooms? Gleb asks, do I know about the latest update from Twitter? Everyone can talk to each other now. No, I didn't know that. That would be good. Wasn't Twitter bought up by Elon Musk, Tesla, and SpaceX? You know, why shouldn't we be able to talk to everyone? Oh, yeah, yeah. I think it translates it to your language. Auto translates to your language. So whatever language the comment is, or your tweet is posted in, it's auto translated to whatever language the reader is in. Yep, painter. Children need a father, and they deserve. But see the mother, can introduce a stepfather to step into the place of the a father who abandoned his children. But it's not right when a mother uh, cuts the father out and replaces him without his consent. Mein hamburger. Welcome. Thank you. Dark. Hey, my buddy. Mr. Ruthless has arrived. I don't have to do my own moderating anymore. The Dark Magician's here. Dark, watch out for this asshole. Vitae. Shine your boot on his ass. I think I booted out like 12 of his profiles, but it's always Vitae and a number. Minute you see him, make him gone and report him. Oh, your foot hurts already? Oh, no. Yep. I agree with you, Painter. It's all good here now. Mine hamburger, all good. Yeah, a woman that, like here, has documents, court documents. And here's non-vote from my ex, wanting to change the custody arrangements. I mean, my youngest is 14. She has stuff going on in her life, but that's no reason for you to cut me out of their life. So, my son and two of my daughters run when they see me. Literally turn and fucking run and hide. Uh-oh. A good chameleon wouldn't change colors? Oh no. Yeah, reptile dysfunction. Okay. Uh, uh, Vitae. Vitae. And then a number. Yep, be on the lookout for his ass. He'll usually rapid fire like 3 comments. Uh, Kleb, I think scientists need to develop an AI auto translator for real life. They, believe it or not, it is already in the market. It's just a little earpiece. You put it in, it's like a hearing aid. It picks it up and auto translates. I have a set here in my briefcase. I can put one in and set it to translate, and I can give the other one to somebody else, and you configure it through your phone. And I can have one that does, let's say, Spanish to English, and I can set the other one to do Spanish to English for the other person, so we can each speak in our own language, and with that one pair, it auto translates. Yeah. If you happen to miss them and I catch them, then you'll see exactly what it looks like dark. But no, they have them in the market already. And like I think they've already got over 100 languages in it. It's incredible. Dark. The guy's name is VAE, like capital VAE, capital V ITAE, yeah, ITAE. Yeah, those translating earbuds are just fucking amazing. I wish I'd been, I had them when I went to Ukraine in 2019. Yep, that's how he spells it there, Dark. And then there will be a number behind it. And, he keeps coming back with a different number. It's like he's got 200 channels, all with the same name, different numbers. I wish I could just call YouTube and, have them flag him all his duplicate accounts, wipe them all out. Yep. Yeah, I've got probably more than half a dozen already. In one night, I think I did half a dozen. He just wouldn't let up. And rather than get the message, he came back again. Skinny ass, how long I've been smoking? Too fucking long. 40 years. And that's about 42 years too long. The interesting thing is I'm paying now for cigarettes what I paid for them 40 years ago when I started. It reminds you of an old Soviet science fiction movie. Young astronauts had special devices that could translate every language, including alienish. Yep. You know what's funny about movies and television and stuff, fictional Star Trek, okay, with oh Captain Kirk, Spock. I can't remember the actor's name. Leonard Nimoy played Spock. They had their comm device. You want to know that one of the first small pocket-sized cell phones made by Motorola almost looked almost identical to those comms. Those comms were absolute fiction. But now, look at us. We don't just carry our comms in our pockets, we have computers because our cell phones are literally, computers in our pockets. Hell, when the personal computer came out, back in 81, when Apple launched the first, uh, uh, the desktop computer, um, that was quite the thing. But they were big and bulky, they relied on a cathode ray tube display. That fucking thing was huge. Now, we've got if you got one that had 8K of memory, that was good. 16 was amazing. And then they got up to 64K of memory. Wow! Now we complain, if our phones have less than 256 gigabytes of memory. We're starting to get cell phones with terabytes of memory in them. And that's in 40 years. Or let's say in under 50 years. It's crazy. Okay, I'm going to go back to reading some of these. Captain James T. Kirk. Yep. What was the actor's name? Dark. Oh fuck. He played T.J. Hooker too, and he also did a stint as a host. Yeah. Exactly. 95 is when everyone started buying, computers because of America Online. By that time I already had, an Apple II Plus. No, I'd been through a 2 Plus, an IBM PC, and I think I bought a Dell or something like that back in 95. And if you wanted to take your computer with you, you needed a truck. I could barely manage to take it with me on my motorcycle when I went from school to home. Giomani is back, and there's Abby too. My Gray, hey, there you go. Sleep time. Well, welcome. Uh-huh. I think somebody needs to re-drum his cement mixer. Yeah, thank you, Dark. I know what what he wanted to have for his name, but I think he had a little too much of that. Okay. That's it, William Shatner. Yep. I must be getting old timers or CRS. I don't know. I'm not sure which one's worse, CRS or old timers. My day's been pretty good there, Geo Manny. My grave, we don't have to worry about red rum disrespecting. Uh, you know, dark magician shined his boot. Yep. Yeah. Oh. So I guess my grade, Hardy has finished her stream. She's still going. Oh God, yeah, I know. I know. Back to the Future Club. Yep. Eh, um. No, we don't have flying cars, but uh, I know they're working on it. I know they're working on it. Um, check out the Icon A5. It is currently in production. You can buy them. I just watched the video on it a couple days ago. They're 209. Yeah, 297,000 for an Icon A5. It's a two-seater plane, but the wings fold, so you can literally, drive it out, run it down the road. Yeah, hoverboard. Now that would be fucking, ass kicker. Whether I am or not, Mike, is none of your business. Ugh. But somebody needs to circumcise you. Okay, Dark, do your magic. Computer fist, roll tide. What's that? There are some flying cars already, but only very. Yep, yep. There are some flying cars, and the Icon A5 is one of them. But it still uses the conventional means of propulsion. By conventional, I mean the propeller. They haven't got them to hover. They haven't got that technology. Yep. Okay. Oh yeah. So yeah. Now Friday night was when I was growing up was typically date night. I imagine it's not much different these days. It's the end of the work week. You don't have to. You can go out late. You don't have to crawl into bed early so that you can get up for work tomorrow morning. So you can go out and have fun with your woman. Hello, Christina. Welcome. I guess you have ended your stream now. Oh no, I'm not a dollar store Santa, man. Uh-uh. I'm going to be the big department store Santa. I've got a letter from Macy's already. um, no, I'm hoping that this year in the fall I can make a trip to Philippines, um, and make life better for some kids there while I'm visiting. Um, just by sharing the love, um, and distributing gifts and food packages. Yeah, my gray's here. Dark is here. Um, yeah, yeah. Last night was a busy. We had a full house here last night. I'm surprised, the number of people that are here. And I was commenting on my analytics earlier. In the last 28 days, I've gone from 122 subscribers to 266 subscribers. That's a big jump. And my watch hours are incredible. In 28 days, they're saying I'm almost 270 watch hours. I don't mind that. I didn't expect it to go that well, to be honest with you, but I appreciate it. Um, the majority of that's coming through my lives. Just in these live streams, like some streams, I'm adding 12 in a day. I must be, resonating. What I'm saying must be resonating with people. And, in this stream alone, we've have had people from 4 of the 5 continents. Um, people from Europe, Asia, North America. So that's, the only one I haven't seen is supersized fries. There's a treat coming your way. Yeah. So I appreciate people coming here, but what I love doing most is answering questions. Yeah. Uh, Oh my God, Mr. Ruthless. I love your comeback line. That was good. I'm going to knock your underwear off. Oh, Gleb, he is ruthless, but he can be funny as hell. He's strict about how people treat the host. Stupid comments, insults to the host. Just it's not necessary. Yeah, exactly. Dark. Act stupid. You don't need to be here. Like I was saying earlier, we used to have a cure for that stupidity in America, right? You act stupid. It was either a duel or a knife fight or a rope, but you only got to do it once. Now they can fucking be stupid over and over again and then reproduce, which is the worst part. Yeah. Like, the old saloons, you get multi with somebody there, be out in the street and shooting her out. Duels. Hey, Sean the Prawn has returned. Thank you for coming back there, my friend. Nice to see you again. I guess we didn't run you off yesterday. Oh, yeah, Defender of Neil's Dark Dungeon. One of these days, I'm going to take this show outside. You guys will actually get to see some daylight around me. But what if I do that? Then I'll open the big overhead door so I still have the direct connection to the Starlink. Because that connection, in all honesty, it's unbelievable. If you go back in my shorts, there's one that where I show a campground or a camper. I think is oh, I could go back and get the title. Hang on a second. Content. Content. Oh, shorts. That's where it's at. Okay. Now I'm not seeing it. Uh, duh, 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 duh. Huh. Okay. Anyways, um, I was staying in a little campground, private campground, a good hour north, or no, not a. It was almost an hour north of Kenora. Um, it's a highway that right along a highway that has one destination and one destination only, a First Nation community. That's the only thing up there. Well, I shouldn't say the only thing. About halfway, there's uh, fishing, like cottages for seasonal fishing and whatnot, where people can rent the cottage, bring their boat, rent the cottage, and spend a week there and go fishing on 2 or 3 lakes right beside this location. A little farther up the road is a small piece of patent land that sits on a peninsula. And this fellow owns this lot. It was cleared and used as a campground years ago, but it has no hydro, no services. It's just got 4 little buildings on there that are outhouses. And that's where we had our trailer set up, because from there to the First Nation community was only 10 minutes of driving instead of, an hour. So, it made that daily commute a whole lot shorter. So I shot a short video there. But that, a beautiful, beautiful place. And the lake it's on, oh my God, you can just fish and fish and fish and fish for days. And most of the sport fish limits for Ontario are 5 fish. You can catch that in the first hour. Yeah, I subscribe to your channel, Kleb. I even made a comment there that maybe you can somehow set it up with English dubbing or English subtitles. Uh, just a suggestion for you. If you want to attract a bigger audience, having that on your videos will be huge. There's another Russian channel that I subscribe to, Rare Russian Vehicles. And you know, he shows a lot of the different cars and things that that are, you know, very common in your country, but we don't see them here. One thing that I loved watching is some of the videos from the from base. I think it's probably out in Siberia, where they're harvesting timber with the TT4. That thing is amazing. Okay, I'm going to quickly, Sean, welcome back. Hardy, Dark, I was waiting for you, my stream a while back. Uh-oh. Okay, I was in the store. Hardy, what happened? Hardy, you know, when I was talking. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Kleb. Adding subtitles would be amazing. Yeah, Hardy, when you were streaming, I was so groggy and so tired. I said, I just went and laid down. I was going to lay down for 15 minutes and work turned out to be an hour. Well, I don't need to know about your bathroom trips there, Ten Zinc. Uh, oh, I got a good joke for everybody. I'll do it another night. Now everybody's heard how cheap a Dutchman. Actually, I'll do it now. Everybody's, you know, heard how cheap Dutchmen can be. They're so cheap they'll wipe their ass with one piece of toilet paper. They'll take the piece of toilet paper and they'll, you know, bring the corners together and they'll tear a little piece out of the center. Slide the toilet paper over their finger, you know, to protect the hand. So the only thing that's showing is the finger. Wipe their ass. And once they're done, they just gather up the toilet paper around, you know, around the finger, clean the finger. And that little piece of paper, that the little piece they tore out, they kept that so they can clean their nail, make sure it was clean. That's cheap Dutchman. Oh, or what's popping? Okay. Sorry, I guess I better put these on, eh? Sorry about that, Tenzink. What's popping? Not much right now. I don't even have the popcorn on. Oh, yeah. I used to get my wife with Dutch oven constantly. Yep. I know what that is. I won't tell Hardy. I'll just you know, we'll see if we can pull one on her. Oh, firefighters do that. Firefighters do what? Dark, the Dutch oven, or the you know, cheap Dutchman toilet paper. Oh, I've been to Holland several times. You know, first time I went that I remember, I just turned 16. I was in grade 11, and I took the first term of grade 11 off. Yep, Dutch ovens are good for the environment. I agree. So, anyways, I took the first term of grade 11 off, and I worked longer in, beyond school returning. I worked till October 31st. I was working for a roofing company. I was, shingling back then. And I was making more on piecework, banging roofs on houses, than guys putting in 40 hours a week in the steel mill in that town. Yeah. Okay, Dark. So I saved up, paid my airfare. I believe at that time my airfare was just under $700 for the round trip. And I had $2,000 for spending money because I was going for 2.5 months. So I went and visited, my grandparents, stayed with them for a time, and we went around and visited aunts and uncle, or my aunts and uncles, or mainly my aunts. At that point, my dad's brother had been in Canada for years. My dad's only living brother. And so we visited my dad's sisters and their husbands and kids. Hello, Nine. Welcome back. And it was a great time. I had a blast in Holland. I stayed with one of my aunts for a while, and actually I took a gal on a date when I was there. I was in the town of Amersfoort. I'll never forget her name. Her name was Sylvia Janssen. She was gorgeous. Oh my God, was she gorgeous? Oh, hey, Adriatic, welcome back, my Croatian friend. Oh, I guess Dark and Nine know each other. Uh-huh. And now Mr. Pat is here. Oh my goodness, we're getting the whole family together. That is the one cool thing, about YouTube is you the same people tend to come together. I said Adriatic Olympia. Sylvia, I have no idea where Sylvia is. Um, you know, I know Dark and Mr. Pat, my Greyhound friend. We all go to Hardy Miles Stream, and now we have other people that have joined here, and we connect. Yeah, Adriatic and Chleb. I mean, you guys aren't that far apart from each other. Croatia and Moscow, a couple days drive. If you cross the borders. And now Graham. Oh my goodness. Hello, my friend. Where is Nanai? She working now or? Oh, heck no. Yeah, I'm the captain of my own ship that sails the highways. Allegretti, I lived with the Eskimos many years ago, and they used to plunge their faces into the snow. Since then, I'm off hot water. Yeah. You know, the the Swedes were the inventors of the sauna. Where you sit there and bring your body, your skin temperature to, I think it's 104 degrees or something like that. It's fucking hot in there and steamy, and it opens your pores. And then they'd go jump in the snowbank, and your pores go from being wide open to instantly shut, and the dirt gets trapped on the outside in the snow. Oh, how did I get on in court? No, we got an adjournment. It was first time up. I I spoke with duty counsel prior to being heard by the court. So I've got till June the 1st to file the proper paperwork in response to my ex's application. So I'm going to fill out those forms, and I'm going to get a lawyer. I want a lawyer for this because this is brutal. She needs to be knocked right off her fucking horse, and I want the relationship back with my kids, and she's going to have to pay for the reconciliation counseling that's going to need to take place. And that's going to be a non-negotiable. Um, she's wanting child support. I want my kids. I'm not making an unreasonable ask. She made an agreement that we would have joint 50-50 custody, and then circumvents that by, convincing the kids that, I'm not worthy of being their father. That's dealing in bad faith. She did it with my son, and then she did it with, two of my daughters. One when she was 12, and the next one when she was 10. The oldest and youngest daughters, walked out of my life with it in the same year. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Graham. It can get messy with her. And that's why I need a lawyer for it. And I found out that, one of the lawyers that was in the court at the same time is from a firm that I really wanted. And they told me that they don't do those types of cases in that court. So I'm going to call them out as bullshit, because I saw her in the same court. And, they have firsthand knowledge of the history between her and I, because I know that lawyer was the assistant to my lawyer doing my children's aid stuff. Okay. You don't need a sauna, Dark? Yeah, hot natured as it is. Yeah. Yeah, in I'm hot blooded in the wintertime. If I work with heavy gear on, I sweat so bad inside of in those insulated clothes. By the end of the day, I got to turn them inside out to dry them out for tomorrow. So quite often I'll pull my jacket right off and just have a lighter jacket on, put that on while I'm working. And then when I stop working, the light one comes off and the heavy one goes on. Oh, uh, I'm hoping that with the lawyer, Graham, will be able to press for criminal charges against my ex for child abuse. Then she'll have no choice but to face the reality. Adriatic, no. Nope. I didn't even want to go to the courthouse for court in case she might be there. She is such a vindictive, nasty. Oh, she bought, an IBM, or not an IBM. She bought an iPad for my oldest daughter for Christmas when she was, just before she turned 12, and then and gave it to her as a gift, and then proceeded to tell her, "You can't take it to Dad's because it'll break. If it breaks there, he won't repair it." What kind of message does that send to a child? Yeah. Okay. TG, very interesting story. Have you ever heard of Sigondi? No, I have not. Migration. Okay. Mr. Pat, which one of the okay. Adriatic? Yes. But not in the way that you think of typical abuse. Okay. Um, the American Psychiatric Association in 2016 or 17 came out with a statement that parental alienation is the most vile form of child abuse. That's the abuse she does. Oh, absolutely, Graham. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. That's all she wants to do because she thinks I hurt her. So she's going to hurt me back double. Yep, Adriatic. Exactly. And once the kids figure it out, I'm waiting for that. I know you was, buddy. I beat you to it. You gave him the warning. I did the action. Oh, people are evil sometimes, and when they realize that they are wrong, it's all yep. And the funny part of it all is when I met her, 23 years ago, she was on fire for her faith, and that was one of her most endearing qualities to me. She was right into praising and worshiping and spreading the the love of God and the power of God. And now you I mean, you look at her and all you see is Satan. Is pure evil. Absolute pure evil. Oh, has anybody else ever noticed that gay men all pretty much speak same way? Their voice is damn near identical. Doesn't matter, where they're from. That silly, high pitched, syrupy voice. Yep. Somebody postulated that homosexual, these people that are gay, they're demon possessed. Otherwise, why would their voice be almost identical, so similar in all of them? There's a lot of them in the airlines, Graham. Oh my God. Jesus. They gravitate to the ones that all speak funny. They all gravitate towards the traditionally feminine roles, feminine jobs. Yes, dark, stressed, depressed, and demon possessed. And that is how Satan gets his hooks in depression. Um, that's his way of getting us is depression. Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, Graham, and I'm even sure that they're making their way into the cockpits too. But I know I've encountered a pile of them, in the aisles in the back. Those petite feminine bodies and that lispy voice. Hello in Switzerland, welcome. Yep, servant. They're smoking our beer. I don't drink much beer, and me, it's a smoke and a coffee. Hello in Amsterdam. Hoe gaat het? Yeah. Well, it's not just Slovenian femboys. You got lady boys in Taiwan. You find them everywhere, everywhere. I even ran into them in stores in Davao. I was in a city hardware store in Davao and ran into one, and he was hitting on me bad. Yeah, servant. My last name is Kromhout. That answer your question? My father was born in Leiden and my mother in Tiel. And my parents, when I was younger, they would always speak Dutch to one another when they didn't want us kids to know what they were talking about. Didn't work. Yeah, there's several people here several people from Holland that come into my channel. No, I was born in Canada. My mother and her came to Canada in 1948 with her parents when she was 5 years old. And my father left Holland in 1960 because he wanted to be a farmer. And having grown up in Leiden in 1960, the chances of him getting a farm in Holland were slim to none. And Slim was not just out of town, he was out of the country. So he came to Canada. Yeah. Gleb says, yeah, it's known in every Slavic country. Yep. Yeah, I'm just across the river in Canada from Minnesota. Just so you know. Oh, yes, Adriatic. I am tall like the typical Dutch people. I'm 6'6" or was. I'm now 6'5.5". And don't forget that half, because I've already lost one. Hello, the Tokyo Dolphins. I am good. Thank you for coming by. Yes, servant. I have been in Holland many times, several times. I shouldn't say many. I went in 1980. I spent 2.5 months with my grandparents and the rest of my family there. I was back in 90 with my first wife. And then in 2001 and 98 and 2002 on concert tours. What is that in centimeters? Adriatic, that is 196. Just so you know. Yes, almost 2 meters. You know why I'm so tall? Because where I grew up was a whole lot of Dutch dairy farmers, and behind the dairy barn, they just piled it a lot higher than anywhere else. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yep. I know the coffee shops. Oh, I've been. I toured all around Holland. In the concert tours, I drove, and we would stop. We'd only from one town to another, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours if you really gave it. But we'd take 4 hours. We'd meander. We'd do some sightseeing, and of course, always stop for a coffee and gebakia. No lessons. I am not Japanese. Sorry to say, I am a Canadian or Dutch Canadian. Um, How tall is, well, my first wife was 5'4". I don't know what that is in centimeters. And my second wife was 5'9". My son is 6'5". He's still shorter than me. You remember? No, I never got to those coffee shops. Not into that stuff. Lessons. There ain't no Oriental blood in me at all. So, yeah. I think Hardy's busy getting ready for do something, but she was here not too long ago, Graham. I started my stream while she was still finishing up hers. Yes, Canada's absolutely wonderful. The nice thing about Canada is the space there, servant. I love it. Love when I visit Holland, but I can't wait to get back home where there's space. Here, if I drive 10 kilometers, I can go 10 kilometers to the north of where I am, and I might be able to use a vehicle for the first two. and after that, I'm on foot because there ain't no roads. It is all bush and rock and swamps. Um, in Canada, we use Celsius, uh, but there's still people that's use the old Fahrenheit system. But we switched everything over in 1984. There's some salmon around here, but not that much. We have more of the northern pike, muskie, sturgeon. There's trout, bass, crappie. Um, oh, hello, Red Bull. Who's that? We have servant also from Holland. Yeah, and the interesting thing is just 100 kilometers to the west of where I am is Lake of the Woods, and Lake of the Woods is one of the biggest destination or fishing destinations for American sport fishermen. So they come basically to Canada to go fishing because we've got thousands of lakes around here. Adriatic Kleb is a 21-year-old male. Crappie, they're white crappie primarily. At least in Rainy Lake, I know they're white crappie. Hello, Graphic Jack. Oh no, I don't want to be your dad. Unless your first name's Garrett, and then hey, nice to have you in my stream. Yep. Yeah. So um, I still honor my Dutch roots. Um, and I love, I would love to go back to Holland again. Um, oh no, Graham, I honestly I don't know. I'm not an avid fisherman like some people. Um, so I couldn't tell you. All I know is I love eating fish. Um, and that's about the extent of it. When I was a kid, I used to go down to the river, the Grand River, in my town, and I would fish there. But since I've been, about 12, I haven't gone fishing. Gone a couple of times, but nothing. Nay. When he when he came to Canada, he worked on farms, but he never uh, got into farming. He got into construction, and I myself went into construction. Um, and I do not have a lot of land. Farming nowadays is a recipe to bankruptcy. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I could type in and look it up. Um, yeah, It wasn't. It was his dream. He went to school. He went to Landbau school, uh, and um, you know, when I asked him a few years back, did he ever regret going into farming? No, he says no, because he saw um, my mother's brother farmed, and he went into bankruptcy. He wound up, becoming a caretaker of a church. Um, so it's farming is not just working the land. It is a business, and it takes a fucking shit ton of commitment to keep that business running, and you can't do it alone. So he's glad that he didn't get into farming. Uh, that may be what he's talking. Yeah, Dark. I think that's what it is rainbow trout. Um, yes, my dad is still alive. He will be celebrating his 85th birthday in October. No, I have not learned the words for wanted man. Sorry, Graham, not yet, but I will. I can. Um, Let me just make a note of that. I'll grab my scribble stick here. Oh, there it is. It's already out of that pocket. Okay. Um, yep. Yeah. My mom just celebrated her 83rd birthday in January. Yep. Um, but the thing is, I live where I live is over 2,000 kilometers away from them, and we are in the same province. Holland is not like Canada, or Canada is not like Holland. Um, it takes 7 days of hard driving to cross from the east to west, and north to south. You can't even drive it. You have to take an airplane, and that's going to take you hours to fly from the north to the south, or from the south to the north. And once you get to the north, don't even think about landing, because the very north of Canada, you got to come back about 600 kilometers to land at Resolute, which is the northernmost airport in Canada. Okay, I will look it up and get into it, Graham. Thank you for that. Canada is massive. Canada is the second largest country in the world, second only to Russia. And the difference between the two countries is less than the area of Alaska. Okay? So if Alaska was part of Canada, Canada would be the largest country in the world. Hello, Josh Hugh from UK. Thank you. Yeah, take a parachute. Yeah. And the other thing, Servant, even to make that flight, you need a plane that has big fuel tanks, to make that trip. You can't do it just in, a little puddle jumper private plane. You need big fuel. Yeah. Um, yeah, see, and that's something that people from Europe cannot comprehend, is the vastness of Canada. Um, for a Canadian, especially where I live, if you've got to drive for 30 minutes, that's a coffee run. You don't even, doesn't even phase you. It's normal. But in Holland, coffee run, well, you jump on the bicycle and you do that. Um, so my dad, when he was young and still in Longbao school, he had to do some co-op time at farms. So he did time with a farmer that had two boys around his age. One was older, one was younger. Now, the oldest son, years later, bought a farm just into Germany, and his name was Jan van der Bos. And Jan had to make a trip to Canada, to Vancouver. Well, while he's in Vancouver, he looks up my dad's phone number and calls me. He says, "Hey, Gert, it's Jan." My dad is absolutely blown away to hear from him. It's been 30 years since they've talked. He's Jan, just blown away. So Jan asks, "Well, can I come over for coffee?" My dad says, "I'd love to have you over for a coffee. Where are you?" Jan says, "I'm in Vancouver." My dad starts laughing. He says, "Jan, you are farther west in Canada than I am, or from where I am, than it is for me to Holland." Because my dad's near Toronto. That's how big it is. You think the distance from Europe to Canada or from Holland to Canada is long, but it takes many hours to fly across Canada to get to Vancouver. So yeah, they met a year later back in Holland. Yeah, Graham is a pilot. He knows, from Calgary to Greenland is shorter over the pole than to fly easting across Canada. What's going on there, Khaleb? Okay. Oh, yeah. Um, oh, Adriatic, I'm not sure what the percentage of native Canadians is. It's not very high. I think it's under 10%. Oh, Keko is leaving us. I'm sorry. Good night. Have a great day. Thank you for coming and spending your time with us. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Josh Hugh, for loving the story. Yeah. Well, homemade cow. So you ask what time it is. Depends on which time zone you are in. Canada has 6 of them. I happen to be in the 4th one from the coast, from the east. And my time is just coming up on 8 p.m. Just like Russia, Russia has many time zones. I think you guys have 6 as well, if I remember correctly. So, the time in Moscow is way different than the time over in, oh, come on. I'm trying to remember the coastal town there on the Pacific. Okay. There's many, many different time zones. Oh, yeah. Hard to please. Be careful what you say. Yeah. Yeah. Canada has 6. We have Newfoundland, Atlantic, Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific. The United States has 4. They do not have the Atlantic time or the Newfoundland time. So Americans have the Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific times. Yeah. No, I am in Central, so I'm right near the middle of the country. If you look at the map of North America and follow the border across, there's a little piece of the U.S. that sticks up, kind of into Canada, kind of like the U.S. giving Canada the middle finger. I'm just east of that place. Oh, Jesus, Thunder Bay, Alex, try Fort Francis. Sudbury, gee, welcome, my fellow Canadians. Alex, you behave, and show you're worthy. You'll get a jacket to wear. You'll become a moderator. Hey, Ron Veer, Sudbury. I've been through there many, 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 many times. Now, I was serving, yeah. Well, Winnipeg's farther west. Winnipeg is west of that, middle finger. Oh, how much of Canada is uninhabited wilderness? Well over 90%. Or sparsely populated. Let's put it that way. The population density is in southern Ontario and along the border. You basically go along the border, and that's where the population is. The border to the U.S. And then there's little pockets here and there, population like Edmonton, for instance, quite a ways north. But there's a whole bit, industry up there of oil and oil exploration. Yep. Yeah, there's, it's easy to get lost in the wilderness in Canada. Hey, if you want to avoid the law and you can live off of nature, live in the wild, it's not hard in this country. You just need to learn, how to fish and shoot, tan your own hides, stuff like that, and forage. You can disappear for a lifetime. Yeah. Hey, Graham, there's nothing in Winnipeg. Gimli isn't even in Winnipeg. Is what, 100K out? Fabo? No, we have one of the highest taxes in the world. We pay over 50% of our net income or our gross income to the government. It's getting close to 51. Yeah, close to 51%. Our tax-free day here is July 4th, the last time I looked it up. Okay, Mr. Pat, good night. Thank you for coming. Have a good sleep, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. And you know what's funny about that servants is the taxes. They keep saying we live in a free country, and they talk people that park their asses in the pews. They say, oh well, the Israelites had it so bad. They were slaves. Would you believe that Pharaoh only asked them to work 1/5 of the year? That's 20%. Okay, they had to give 60. I think it was 66 days or something like that of work to Pharaoh. And we work 187, 188 days for our government, and we're free. These people have been brainwashed. Okay, okay. Oh, Graham, yeah, greedy corruption, absolutely. Sila the second. No, I cannot speak French fluently. I used to be able to, and when I was in my teens, I took French in high school. I had francophonic friends, and we spoke in French all the time. But then we had the separatist movement, where the a group of French-speaking people in Quebec wanted to separate from Canada. And they forced that all signage in their province had to be in French only. So I said, fuck you. I'm not going to speak your language anymore. Yep. Servant, absolutely. Alex, yeah, we pay too much. All I say is go read 1 Samuel 8, and you'll see the reason why we are paying taxes, because people is stupid. Servant, you could better live in the woods. Only thing is, you need to. Yep. As a matter of fact, there is a guy just 2.5, about 2.5 miles north of where I am, like due north. You need to take an off-road, four-wheel drive, side, not even a side-by-side. You got to use a quad, okay, to get to his place. You can't drive in with a car. And if you don't have a quad, you're fucking walking. And even on a quad, you're going to have a hard time getting in there, because it is one hell of a muddy swamp bog trail in. They only come out once a month to get supplies and to mail off his finished product. No, I've only been up there once, and I met his wife and his kids. He does not like to interact with people in person. He does his leather work, his tanning, like he yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to go in, but I'd have to prearrange it with through his wife. Yeah. Yes, you can. Sheila, you can have a good life here. The one good thing is that we have universal health care. So anytime you got to go to the hospital or the doctor, it's covered. That's trade off. The Americans, they pay out of pocket, and that can wipe out your funds in a fucking hurry. Excuse my French. Yeah, the servant. He's absolutely, the reason he built way out there is so he didn't have to interact with people. Because every time he got around people, he got in trouble. Right? He spent years in jail. Because every time somebody opened their lip, he would be punching it. So he said, fuck it, I'm going to go live out in the middle of butt-fuck nowhere where nobody's going to come and bother me. And he's happy. Okay. Anyways, yes. Alex, life in Canada is getting harder every time. It's because of the, let's put it this way. Empires used to be led by emperors when we had empires. And then there were kingdoms that were led by kings. Now we have countries that are led by, I won't say it, but I know you thought it. Oh, and you're right. Okay, Fabo, thank you. Ever seen a moose? Yep. Ever seen what a moose can do to a semi-truck? Fuck yeah. Split the damn truck in half. I've seen what it does to a pickup truck. Dodge flattened a cab. The guy still had to drive, did almost 100 kilometers with his cab. He had about that much to luck out, and he had to kick what was left of his windshield out in order to drive. Okay, I got to see what Dean wrote. Okay. Yeah. Libtards. God never intended us to have a government. Never. He wanted us to live in an altruistic anarchy or theocracy. Okay, where he is our king. But, the kingdoms of the world had kings. They had their leaders. And Israel wanted to have a leader just like all the other nations. So God said, sure, but not before warning them what they would have. Well, if you go and read those warnings in 1 Samuel 8, you'll go through that list and think, fuck, they had it good. Graham, I have not seen the Nye here today. So I was wondering if you knew where she was. Anyways, folks, I think this is the longest I have ever streamed. Jesus. My phone is saying I've been live for 16 minutes, but I know we went offline for a bit there. Yeah, the Illuminati, Adriatic, the atheists. But you gotta have an awful lot of faith to believe there is no God. For those of you who are here, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, participating, leaving your comments. Your presence warms my heart. But my throat is getting sore from talking so much. My brain is going numb from having to retrieve all that information and form all them words. So I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. And with that, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever it may be for you. God bless you. God loves you. So do I. And we'll see you another day.